Welcome to The Explainer. Tonight, we're unpacking an absolutely incredible story of courage and quick thinking that unfolded on a Mumbai train platform, a story where a regular commute turned into something, well, something life-changing.
So let's just dive right in with this quote. My hands and feet went cold, my body was trembling, but there was no other way. Those are the words of the man at the center of this story, Vikas Bendre, and you can just feel the sheer panic and resolve in that single sentence, can't you? He knew in that split second, it was all on him.
Okay, so to really get how he ended up in that terrifying spot, we need to rewind the clock just a little bit. It all kicks off on the last local train of the night.
Picture this. It's midnight. You're on a train, probably tired, just wanting to get home. A pregnant woman named Deepika boards. And then suddenly, everything changes. She starts experiencing these intense labor pains, crying out for help. And while everyone else is kind of frozen, one guy, Vikas Bendre, doesn't hesitate. He reaches up, pulls that emergency chain, and bam! The whole train screeches to a stop at Ram Mandir Station.
All right, the train is stopped, the alarm is probably sounding, everybody knows something serious is happening. But what happens next? Well, that's what makes this story so unbelievable.
And this is where you see a really sharp divide. You've got this crowd of people, and they're just watching. They're keeping their distance, hesitant to get involved, and get this, not even other women came forward to help. But Vikas, he's the complete opposite. He gets the woman off the train and onto the platform, and it must have been this sinking feeling when he looked around and realized he was completely alone. No doctors, no paramedics, just a sea of faces staring back at him.
And here's the kicker. The guy who stepped up, he's not a doctor. He's not even a nurse. Vikas is a freelance cinematographer. He was literally on his way to the airport to catch a plane. So he's got his camera gear, not a first aid kit, but right then and there, none of that mattered. He was the only person willing to help.
Okay, now the situation goes from urgent to critical. The baby's head is actually emerging. There's no time to wait for an ambulance. Vikas knows he has to think fast, he has to do something, and he has to do it right now.
So what does he do? He pulls out the one tool he has, his smartphone. And he makes this incredibly smart call, literally. He video calls a doctor friend, Dr. Deepika Deshmukh. And the reason he calls her is fascinating. As a cinematographer, he'd actually made video reels for her, so he knew firsthand that she was super confident and a really clear communicator. He was betting everything that she could talk him through this. And this really gets to the heart of his thinking. He said, doctors are also human and we are also human. The difference is education and knowledge. It's such a simple but profound thought, right? He figured if someone with the knowledge could guide him, his hands could do the physical part. He could close that gap. And so, there it is. A bustling Mumbai train platform is suddenly transformed into a makeshift delivery room. And the only piece of medical equipment in sight? A smartphone. So, with Dr. Deshmukh on the line, giving him calm, step-by-step instructions, Vikas, hands trembling I'm sure, follows everything she says. And incredibly, he delivers the baby, right there. You'd think that's the moment of pure relief, right? But no, the most terrifying part was just about to begin. For 5 whole minutes, nothing. Absolute silence. Can you even imagine that? 5 minutes that must have felt like an eternity. The baby wasn't crying, wasn't making a sound, the entire platform just held its breath. And then, the silence shattered. A loud cry from the baby just rips through the air. You can almost hear the collective sigh of relief. That sound, that cry, it echoed across the whole station. It was the sound that said, "We did it. The baby's okay." But hold on, they weren't out of the woods yet. Now came maybe the riskiest part of the whole thing, cutting the umbilical cord. Think about that. A doctor, miles away, has to guide a filmmaker through a delicate medical procedure over a shaky video call. Her instructions had to be crystal clear. Okay, Vikas, you're going to tie a tight knot here on the mom's side. Got it? Now another one here on the baby's side, and you have to cut precisely in the middle. And somehow, amidst all that chaos and with hygiene being a huge concern, he did it. He followed her instructions perfectly.
And you know, when the ambulance finally showed up, after all of this was done, by the time the professionals got there, the crisis was over. The most critical work had already been done by a stranger with a phone and unwavering courage.
So as you can imagine, a story like this doesn't just end on the platform. It exploded. It captured the city's imagination. And in a funny way, life started to imitate art.
People almost instantly started calling him Mumbai's Rancho.
Now, if you're not familiar, Rancho is this genius character from the huge Bollywood hit 3 Idiots. And what does he do in the movie? He delivers a baby during a storm using a video call. It's an uncanny parallel, an absolute case of life imitating art.
And of course, the most important part of all this, the outcome. The mother, Ambika, and her new baby boy are both safe and totally healthy. And Vikas? His story went viral, as you'd expect. He's been getting calls and messages from everyone, praising him for what he did.
But for Vikas himself, this isn't really about being famous. His real hope is that his story inspires other people to act. He wants to show that you don't have to be a doctor to save a life. With a bit of courage and the right person on the other end of a phone, you can be the help that someone desperately needs, especially in places where medical help is miles away.
So, in the end, this incredible story isn't just about one man on a train platform. It really makes you think, doesn't it? It leaves us all with a pretty powerful question to chew on. When that moment of crisis hits, are you the person who stands and watches, or are you the one who steps up